Hello, friends. Videos of the attack on the Moscow oil refinery on June 18th keep appearing. From some remarkable angles like this Muscovite who recorded it from his apartment. The calm flight of one of the AN-196 Loitering drones flying low between the buildings toward its target. Obviously, this strategy makes the job of the Horde's anti-aircraft batteries even more difficult. Even so, the old man who lives in the basement of the Kremlin praised the work of the city's defenses during the attack. Well, if that was their best performance, interesting things are coming for the capital of Mordor. And speaking of interesting things coming to the Horde, in this footage we see how the defenders have dropped a present in the stronghold where several invaders are taking refuge. The gift is a thermite grenade, surely sent so they don't get cold while waiting for their assigned mosquito to visit. This is a clear signal, as it shows that the Ukrainian infiltrators know exactly where this position is, so it would be wise for Ivan's health to pack his things and look for another place to take cover. On the southern front, a Ukrainian crew operating an SPG-9 recoilless gun accidentally hit a power line during fighting in the Kherson Oblast, producing a huge electric arc in a rather impressive display of plasma and smoke. Most likely, the SPG-9 projectile was traveling at high speed when it physically struck one of the high-voltage cables, creating a bridge between the energized conductor and the ground, or between two phases if it was a three-phase line. It's surprising that the lines were still energized. That was quite unexpected. In this footage, we see a Ram-2X loitering munition from the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine hitting a BTR-82 infantry transport of the Horde, whose driver is walking just ahead. I must say that the image quality is outstanding, as has become the norm lately. The Ram-2X is a loitering munition of Ukrainian design with an X-wing configuration, optimized for long-range operations and highly resistant to enemy electronic warfare. It has been deployed in several regions, mainly to target high-value assets such as Russian air defense systems or artillery systems. However, now that there aren't as many of those targets, they're working on the few Z-armored vehicles that dare to go out in the open. Meanwhile, an assault orc carries out a vertical offensive to conquer a rebellious Ukrainian pine tree, installing a Soviet flag at the top. However, a treacherous branch collapses, sending the rag and its bearer back to the ground. In this case, we could say the offensive was halted solely by gravity, without mutant mosquitoes' involvement. So we missed out on a colorful ornamental leap into the void. It'll have to be for next time. On the southern front, the mid-range attack campaign is producing new results, as can be seen in satellite photographs published on June 25, which reveal a massive traffic jam stretching for more than 10 kilometers on the Crimean side of the Kerch bridge, with approximately 1,500 vehicles lined up to leave the peninsula. The images captured by Planet Labs on June 24 show a dense line of cars starting at the checkpoint before the bridge and stretching deep into the Kerch district, reaching as far as the village of Ivanivka. This confirms that there is a massive migration of invaders from Crimea to the mainland, caused by the growing logistical difficulties affecting the civilian population, those who could end up stranded permanently on the peninsula. Since the authorities have decreed that fuel will no longer be sold to civilians, as everything is reserved for military and government units. Added to this are the constant power outages and the ongoing threat of drone and cruise missile raids by the defenders. The Kerch Bridge is the only route through which civilians can still leave the peninsula with relative freedom, but if it is destroyed by an attack, it would mean that they would be trapped and could only be evacuated by air. The fuel situation is so severe that the roads in the Alushta region look like this, completely empty, because people prefer to use their vehicles as little as possible. The video. On the sanctions front, last Tuesday, a French Navy boarding team intercepted the tanker Deliver in the Mediterranean Sea while it was passing off the coast of Sicily. The vessel, coming from the Russian port of Primorsk, was sailing under the Cameroonian flag, a registration that the French authorities suspected was fraudulent. Alushta's only bridge is the Kerch Bridge, located in the Alushta region. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea allows boarding on the high seas if there's suspicion of use of a false flag. A Navy helicopter positioned itself over the deck of the oil tanker to allow a tactical team to descend. The United Nations authorizes boarding on suspicion of equipment violations, permits refueling of Alushta, and checks communications and navigation records for flag irregularities, allowing the vessel's redirection to a French-controlled port. The operation was coordinated with the Royal British Navy, which supplied crucial intelligence. This is the fifth intervention of this kind, carried out by France since September 2025, against vessels suspected of being part of Pudler's Ghost Fleet. Every day, more of these vessels are seized on the high seas, which reduces the Horde's options to keep making money from the sale of its sanctioned oil. On the logistics front, the government of the Netherlands has committed to funding the production and delivery of 700 Ruta Block II cruise missiles, manufactured by the Dutch defense company Desk. The package, valued at approximately 250 million euros, was reported by the Dutch media outlet NRC on June 24, 2026. The Ukrainian Defense Minister, Mikhail Fedorov, toured the Destinus facilities together with the Dutch Defense Minister on June 17, where they described the Ruta system as part of Ukraine's immediate strike strategy, targeting the logistics, supply lines, and military infrastructure of the invaders located behind the front lines. The Ruta Block II represents a significant leap in European-designed cruise missile technology, as it has a range of over 700 kilometers. This allows it to reach targets beyond Moscow with a 250-kilogram high-explosive warhead optimized to destroy high-value protected targets. The missile flies toward its target at low altitude, following the terrain to evade Ivan's layered air defense networks. To reach its target, it uses an electro-optical and infrared terminal seeker with AI-assisted target recognition, capable of operating in environments without satellite positioning signals and under intense electronic interference. To increase its survivability, the system's design features a reduced radar cross-section to make detection more difficult. These features position Ruta Block II as a cost-effective and scalable complement to more expensive Western systems, such as the Franco-British Storm Shadow Scalp system or the American ATAC-MS, giving Ukraine more operational independence since the system is fully made in Europe. This becomes more evident if we consider that the same company manufactures the T-150 turbojet engine, which powers both the Ruta Block I and Block II systems, with Block I being the shorter range variant. To conclude, a Ukrainian soldier shows us for whose freedom he is fighting. Any sacrifice is justified to prevent the Russian world from reaching it. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to visit them. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.